Part 19. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 182. Wano Country, Ghost Island. Kaido, you saved me this time, the relationship between you and me is clear, I'm leaving. The ant said and was about to leave. The kingdoms she had run for many years were destroyed, and her sons and daughters don't know what is happening now. And all this is because of the Straw Hats. She wants revenge. Ling, I know you want to take revenge, but you have to think about the strength of the Straw Hats. It is dangerous for you to go to them alone, and you don't know where they are now. Kaido quickly spoke to persuade. All the three disasters around him died, which can be said to be a heavy loss. He must keep Big Mom by his side, otherwise, wouldn't he have saved her in vain? Ling, believe me, I have sent people to find your people, and I believe that the Straw Hats will definitely come back to find me. Instead of you looking aimlessly, it is better to wait for them here. When the time comes, the two of us will work together to kill the Straw Hats. Kaido said bitterly. Aunt Ma glanced at Kaido, then sat down. Okay, then let's join forces again and let those brats know how powerful we are. We haven't fought together for decades, right? Ling. Kaido's voice was a little gentle. They were once partners on a pirate ship, and they once fought side by side. His devil fruit was given to him by the captain at that time, and he could never forget Captain Rocks. You must have drunk too much. Didn't we join forces when we got in the car to fight Whitebeard? The ant said very directly. Ahem, let's go get something to eat. I've asked someone to prepare dessert for you. Kaido coughed twice in embarrassment. At that time, the magic triangle, the terrifying bark. Baiyu came here after leaving Daughter Island. Time is tight now and this is not the time to talk about personal affairs between children. And Hancock keeps trying to drag him into marriage, he really can't stand it. Lord Baiyu. After Perona saw Baiyu, she immediately ran over and gave her a big hug. I haven't seen her for a while, but she has become beautiful again. Bye. You said with a smile. Lord Baiyu. Mariah saluted respectfully. When the Straw Hats were practicing, Moria had already felt the terror of the Straw Hats. Especially during the war on the top, Baiyu actually killed Akainu. This made him extremely glad I made the decision at that time. Well, it seems that the strength has improved a lot, which is not bad. Baiyu glanced at Moria and said. It's all because of Master Baiyu's guidance, otherwise my strength wouldn't have improved so fast. Molia said immediately. No need to flatter me, how's it going here lately? Baiyu asked. There is nothing unusual, except that the Navy came over yesterday to inform me that I should go to the waters near Wano Country in the New World to be on standby. Molia reported immediately. Go ahead and let me know if there are any developments in the Navy. Baiyu knew very well that the Navy summoned the Shishibukai to deal with them. But he didn't expect that the Navy would dare to use Moria. It seems that the Navy is serious about it, and all available power has been used. Yes. Moria immediately accepted the order. By the way, Mr. Baiyu, I recently got a devil fruit, which is a super-type explosive fruit. Yes, bring it to me. Baiyu nodded, his ability to explode fruits is quite good. He even thought of a person. Explosion is art. Okay, I'm leaving now. Contact me after you arrive in the New World. Baiyu took the devil fruit and was about to leave. Lord Baiyu, just stay and rest for one night before leaving. I haven't seen you for a long time. Perona blushed and said softly. Okay, let's stay one night, just to see how good you are. Baiyu smiled and nodded. Well, Mr. Baiyu, let's go to the room. Perona's pretty face turned red and she ran into the room with her head lowered. You all should stand down. Baiyu waved his hand and asked Moria and others to go down. New World, red-haired pirates. The Straw Hats have arrived in Wano country, and the Navy has also started taking action. Do we want to go there and take a look, said Ben Beckman. Forget it, the New World is chaotic enough. Shanks shook his head, they will come to us soon. Do you really believe they can defeat Kaido? Ben Beckman asked doubtfully. Of course, even if Big Mom and Kaido join forces, they are no match for them. Including us, that guy's strength is really terrifying. Shanks was also very afraid when he thought of Bayu's terrifying strength. Are you not sure you can defeat him? Ben Beckman was very surprised. This was the first time he and Shanks had been together for so many years that he saw Shanks be so afraid of someone. Let alone him, I'm not sure even if it's Luffy now. Shanks said helplessly. They are growing too fast. Ben Beckman also sighed. The Straw Hats are too young. In less than a year since they were first put on a bounty, they already have the strength to compete with them. This is really incredible. Yes, that little one has become a powerful pirate. Shanks raised his head and looked into the distance. We are about to meet, Captain Roger. They are the people you are waiting for, right? Captain. Dragon. The dragon is coming. The crew members ran over in panic. It's embarrassing to be in such a panic, go ahead. Ben Beckman said angrily. You really know how to find a place. It took a lot of effort to find you. The dragon came over slowly. The little devil back then has turned into a middle-aged uncle. The Golden Lion said from the side. It's really strange that the two of you can actually get together. Shanks was also very surprised when he saw these two people. The Golden Lion was naturally familiar to him. He was a big pirate who could fight Roger. The dragon was even more familiar to him. It's just that these two guys can actually come together. It's something he didn't expect at all. Because we have common ideals, we can naturally come together. Long smiled slightly. With the help of the Golden Lion, the strength of the Revolutionary Army has greatly increased. Moreover, their headquarters has also been moved to the air, which is safer. You two are not here to come to me for a drink, are you? Shanks is no longer obsessed with why these two people are together. He just wants to know the purpose of these two people coming to him. Don't you want to know about Blackbeard Teach? Long said slowly. Shanks narrowed his eyes and said to the pirates around him, you all go down. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 183. The country of Wan, July. The once prosperous July is now a desolate ruin. Damn Kaido. When Inuarashi and Nico Viper saw the ruined Oden castle, they were extremely angry. They wished they could kill Kaido now. However, they also knew that with their little strength, they would only die if they went to Kaido now. Now they can only waiting for the arrival of the Straw Hats. At the same time, they are also secretly looking for the retainers of the Kojiki family. They are accumulating all their strength to deliver a fatal blow to Kaido. But they have no idea that the whereabouts of these people have been there for a long time. He was discovered. In the palace of the Flower City, the black charcoal snake was listening to a ditty, looking at the beautiful woman, and drinking a small drink, feeling very comfortable. One of his subordinates ran in a panic. Report to General Orakai. A group of fur tribe appeared in Oden Castle. What? The black charcoal snake was startled, and the music and dance stopped. The leaders were a cat and a dog. They were very similar to the cats Viper and Inuarashi, who were the retainers of the Kojiki family back then. A retainer of the Kojiki family. The black charcoal snake was so frightened that his eyes popped out. He was very panicked. Quick. Send more people to protect me immediately. Go notify Kaido immediately. Hurry. He has been living in fear these years. Because of what Kojiki Oden's wife Kojiki Toki said before she died. He was afraid that the prophecy would come true, so he has been investigating matters related to the Kojiki family all these years. People. He would rather kill 1,000 by mistake than let one go. Now a retainer from the Kojiki family appears. How could he not be afraid? Don't be afraid, General, just leave it to me. The Quanxilang stood up. Crazy man. You can't leave, stay and protect me. The black charcoal snake shouted in panic. All right. Quanxilang looked helpless at the scared and trembling Haitan Dashi. If you say this guy is timid, he is not timid at all. He even dares to grab the position of general. And he is also an ability user of the animal-type fantasy beast species. But in life you can't be too timid. At that time, on the coast of Wano country, a pirate ship was parked on the shore. Kaido. Come out quickly. Luffy started shouting loudly after jumping off the boat. Fool. What are you shouting for? Usopp was so frightened that he quickly covered Luffy's mouth. Now that Baiyu is not around, he doesn't feel safe at all. Yes, Luffy, Kaido is so powerful, we should be careful. Chopper also quickly grabbed Luffy's trouser leg. Kaido's strength should not be underestimated, and Kaido is not here, and he does not have Enel's ability. He will not hear you even if you shout at your throat here. Come with me, I will take you to meet someone. Ace also felt a little helpless towards his younger brother. But he thought of that little girl and didn't know how she was doing now. Ace, have you been here? Luffy asked doubtfully. Well, before I met my father, I came here with my pirate group. Ace said. Then why didn't you fight that Kaido away? Luffy asked again. I didn't know at the time that this was Kaido's territory. Ace was speechless. This brat couldn't help but pick up any pot. Even if he knew it, it would be useless. Ace couldn't even defeat me at that time, let alone defeat Kaido. Jinbei was on the side making up for the damage. Fatty Blue. Do you want to have a fight? Ace gritted his teeth angrily. You are no match now. I am about to fully comprehend the water escape. You can learn the second skill soon. You'd better seize the time to comprehend your skill. Jinbei looked arrogant. If it were before, he and Ace would have been evenly matched. However, now his water escape has restrained Ace to death, and it is not difficult to defeat Ace. But he couldn't beat Enelu, and Enelu's thunder and lightning also restrained him. I am almost fully aware of the second skill and will soon learn the third skill. Zoro crossed his arms and looked very arrogant. The most active member of the Straw Hats in training is Zoro. Except for eating and sleeping, he spends all his time training. Not even Jinbei can compare to this. The laziest person is Luffy. Almost never take the initiative to practice. Okay, Ace, since you've been here before, take us to see it. Nami said immediately. Otherwise, these people might not be able to fight later. Melee, thank you for staying and watching the ship. Luffy looked at Mary and said. Melee nodded and merged with the boat. Everyone followed Ace to Wenli village. Enelu frowned and glanced at the forest in the distance, but didn't say anything. The Straw Hats have landed in the country of Wano. The clone Baiyu has not been seen. The other members are all here. Go and inform Lord Kaido, they are not something we can deal with. The person with the Thunder Fruit ability seems to have discovered us just now. Then run away quickly. The two of them were startled. They didn't care about hiding, turned around and ran away. A bolt of thunder fell from the sky. Boom. The two of them fell to the ground, their whole bodies charred. It seems that we have been targeted, and we don't know if the Fur Tribe people have arrived. Ace glanced at the forest in the distance. They've arrived, but things don't look good. Enelu still couldn't help but said. Your ability is really abnormal, nothing can be hidden from you. Ace shook his head helplessly. In fact, it is not good to know everything, it will take away a lot of fun. Analu sighed. Versailles Analu is online. Everyone looked at each other, and then all looked at Analu. Then, they swarmed up. A moment later, Analu was lying on the ground with his face covered. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 184. After everyone arrived at Walai village, they were all dumbfounded. Is there any village here? It's completely in ruins. Xiao! Ace shouted loudly. No need to shout, there is no one here. Analu shook his head helplessly. He had known for a long time that there was no one here, but he just couldn't bear to expose it. How come? Ace fell to the ground. He thought of the little girl he had made a promise with. Somebody is coming. Analu's voice fell. A figure rushed over. A red mask, an exaggerated nose, and wings on the back. It didn't look like a human being. Fiki. Ace. Both Ace and Fei Che were very surprised. Fei Che, why are you here? Where is Xiao? Ace asked quickly. Today is Xiao's birthday. I gave her money to go shopping in the city and she will be back soon. A smile appeared on Fei Che's face. Xiao will be very happy if he knows that you are back. I didn't expect it to be Xiao's birthday, which was really great. Ace heard that Xiao was fine, and a smile appeared on his face. Let's go and talk inside. Fei Che glanced at the other members of the Straw Hats and didn't care. Because he believed Ace. What happened in the village? Ace asked as he walked. 2 months ago, Kaido's men dueled here and completely destroyed the place, and the villagers also went to better places. Fei Che sighed. Kaido. Ace clenched his fists, very angry. Ace, don't be impulsive, you are no match for Kaido. Fei Che quickly said from the side. Uncle Longnose, we are here to fight Kaido. Luffy said immediately. You. Fei Che glanced at a few people and shook his head, you are still young. Don't die in vain. Kaido is not something you can deal with. I forgot to introduce you, they are all my partners, this is my captain and my brother, Luffy. Ace quickly introduced him. Captain. Fei Che looked at Luffy in surprise. Uncle with a long nose, don't underestimate people. Luffy was very dissatisfied. He dared to say that they couldn't defeat Kaido. Fito, don't worry, we are very strong, even Kaido is definitely not our opponent, because we have already defeated a Yonko. Ace said with a smile. Defeat the Yonko. Fito's eyes widened. The news in Wano country is blocked, and he knows very little about the outside information. But he also knows how powerful the 4 emperors are. After all, Kaido can defeat even Kojiki Oden, he is too powerful. It's really unbelievable that these kids can defeat a big pirate who is as famous as Kaido. Well, let's go to your room to cook some delicious food and give Xiao a little surprise when he comes back. Ace doesn't care about these things. He just wants to give Xiao a birthday surprise. If it's cooking, I'll do it. Sanji stood up and said. Thank you for your hard work, Sanji. Ace thanked him very politely. Mr. Long-Nosed, let me borrow your kitchen. Sanji said. My name is Fiki. He is a knife forger, not called Long-Nose. Fei Che shouted loudly. Okay, uncle with a long nose, do you have any ingredients here? Sanji asked. Sorry, let alone ingredients here, there is not even rice. Fei Che shook his head. No rice. Sanji's eyes widened. Others were also surprised. How did they survive if they didn't even have rice? Wengli village has always been poor and only made money by weaving straw hats. Now that it has been destroyed, life must be more difficult. Ace knows the situation in Fengli village. Okay, so there's always a kitchen, right? Sanji sighed. There is a kitchen. Fei Che nodded and led everyone into the room. As soon as he entered the room, Sauron narrowed his eyes and saw the knife hanging on the wall. After just one glance, Sauron couldn't take his eyes away immediately. Okay. Jump up and take the knife on the wall in your hand. You can't touch that knife. Fei Che exclaimed. But it was too late, Zoro had already pulled the knife out of its sheath. This feeling. Zoro glanced at the third-generation Kaiditsu on his waist. Put down the knife quickly, this is a demon knife. Fei Che quickly shouted. Is it really a demon sword? I like. Zoro held the second-generation ghost in his hand tightly, with no intention of letting go. Are you crazy? This is a cursed demon knife. You will be cursed. Fei Che's eyes widened. It's very similar to this knife of mine, but stronger. Zoran took off the Sandake Tetsu from his waist. The third generation of Ghost Tetsu. You can actually subdue the demon sword. Feish looked at Zoran in disbelief. Fiki, don't worry, Zoro is the greatest swordsman in the world right now. There is no sword that he can't defeat. Ace said from the side. The world's greatest swordsman. Feish looked at Zoro with a puzzled look. It's not that he didn't believe Ace's words, it's just that Zoro was too young. Which famous swordsman didn't practice swordsmanship for decades before he could achieve anything? The Zoro in front of him was at best 20 years old. At this age, he has become a great swordsman, and he is also the greatest swordsman in the world. It is impossible no matter what he thinks. Let me see if you are stronger or I am stronger. Zoro said, throwing the knife high and spinning it quickly. He raised his arm and waited for the knife to fall. You. Before Fei Che could say anything, the knife had already fallen. But Zoro's arm was intact. The blade pierced directly into the ground, leaving only the handle outside. Looks like I won. Zoro pulled out the second-generation Ghost Tetsu, with a smile on his face, looked at Fei Tetsu and said, how much does this knife cost? Unexpectedly, I could actually see the samurai who surrendered the demon sword. This second-generation ghost is given to you. Fei Che now believes that this group of young people may really be able to defeat Kaido. Thanks. Zoro was not polite and put the knife away directly. If you don't mind, please give me the two swords first. I can fuse the third generation of ghosts with the second generation of ghosts. Although they are not as sharp as the Supreme Sword, their sharpness is definitely the best among the swords. Famous sword. Fei Che said very seriously. No problem. Zoran directly handed the two knives to Fei Che. Can two knives be fused? Ace asked in surprise. Of course, just ordinary swords will not be improved even if they are fused, and they may even be easily damaged, but these two ghost swords are from the same source, so they are naturally different. Feish was very excited when he mentioned the sword. For a knife forger, there is nothing more satisfying than making a famous sword. Your name is Zoro, please come with me. Fei Che can't wait to start forging. Sauron is also very curious and wants to see how the two swords are fused. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 185. Time flies. Sanji prepared a table full of delicious food. Fei Che is also working on the forging, and it will probably be completed in a short time. But the strange thing is that Xiao has not returned yet. Boluo town is not very far from Wulai village, and Xiao also has a big dog as a pet, so it will definitely not take too long to go back and forth. A group of them have been here for a while. Normally, they should have returned a long time ago. Ace, you can turn off the heat. Sanji shouted. Ah, good. Ace withdrew his flames. Sanji brought the last delicacy to the table. He turned to look at Ace. What's wrong? Absent-minded, still thinking about your little girlfriend. Don't talk nonsense, Xiao is only 6 years old. Ace shook his head. I'm worried that Xiao hasn't come back after being out for so long. Enilu, please help me find her. All right. Enilu closed his eyes as he spoke and began to search carefully. After a while, Enilu opened his eyes and said, I'll be right back. After saying that, he disappeared where he was. Don't worry, Enilu is here and everything will be fine. Sanji comforted him from the side. Enilu's strength will not scare him even if he meets Kaido. Well, I hope it's okay. Ace was still a little worried. At this moment, a terrifying aura appeared. An extremely sharp slash appeared. Ace and Sanji were frightened and crouched down quickly. Whoa! The sword flashed. The roof slowed down. Slowly slide down. Zoro! Green algae head! The two yelled angrily. Only Sauron can do such a level of slashing here. What are you doing? Demolish the house. The three women who were outside were also frightened. They were fine just now, why did they suddenly start demolishing the house? Done. It's finally done. Ha 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 ha. Fei Che laughed loudly and was very happy. Although this sword belongs to the second generation Ghost Che, it is definitely not weaker than the first generation Ghost. Being able to fuse these two famous swords is something that not everyone can do. Even if their ancestors only forged the second generation Ghost sword, the demonic sword. Not bad, I like it very much. Zoro was very satisfied with holding the handle of the sword. Wado Ikemonji, Black Sword Shusui, and this second generation Ghost. His strength can be fully utilized to the extreme. I don't know which one is stronger, this sword or Kyushui. Zoran pulled out the autumn water and compared it with Gui Te. Autumn water? Why is this knife here with you? Fei Che's eyes widened. Chiu Shui is a national treasure of Wano country. How could he not recognize it? This is our deputy captain's knife. He got it from a corpse. The corpse seems to be named Ryoma. Zoran didn't hide it either. Ryoma? How can this be? Fei Che's eyes widened. Nothing is impossible. If Moria makes it into a zombie, it will naturally be another kind of resurrection. Zoro also recalled the scene of fighting Ryoma's corpse. The same swordsmanship, in the hands of that corpse, would be doubled, or even more. But unfortunately, the zombie was never a living person, and he could not see Ryoma's true nature. Swordsmanship. Please hand over the black sword Kyushui and return it to Wano country. Fei Che said very seriously. I can't make the decision. I told you that this sword belongs to our vice captain, and is the current Wano country still the original Wano country? To whom should I give this knife? Zoro shook his head. He knew Bayu's character very well. It would be a dream to take Bayu's things. If Bayu didn't have the supreme sharp sword Jinbaluo, he would never be able to use this Kyushui. But thinking of Usopp picking up his sword and using it, he suddenly felt a lot more balanced. Who is Bayu? Fei Che looked at the Straw Hats. Our deputy captain hasn't arrived yet, but he will probably be there soon. Zoro said. Fly Che. Not to mention the knife, something seems to have happened to Xiao. Ace said. Xiao? Xiao hasn't come back yet. Fei Che was suddenly shocked. Our partner has already gone to look for it and will probably come back later. Ace said. No, I want to find Xiao. Fei Che said and rushed out in a panic. Problem occurs. Zoro asked. Let's go and help find it too. Zoro put away the knife and went to help find someone. Zoro, don't be impulsive. If you go out, we will look for you later. Usopp quickly grabbed Zoro. This crazy person goes out and doesn't know where he's going. Several black lines appeared on Zoro's forehead. Wow! It smells so good. Luffy looked at the delicious food on the table, his mouth watered immediately, and he started to grab it. Luffy, wait and eat later. Enel has gone to find the child and should be back soon. Sanji stopped Luffy. Why is this roof gone? Enilu landed from the sky with a little lolly. Ace. Xiao ran over excitedly after seeing Ace. She has grown taller and more beautiful. Ace hugged the little loli with a smile on his face. Well, I'm stronger now. Xiao waved his little fist. Come, let me introduce you, these are my partners. Gilug. Xiao's stomach rumbling, interrupting Ace's words. Let's talk while we eat. Sanji said from the side. How can this be so embarrassing, Gilug? Xiao's little face turned red instantly. It's okay, today is your birthday, let's celebrate it with you. Ace said with a smile. Thanks. Xiao's eyes turned red, and tears kept rolling in her eyes. Xiao, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I wish Xiao becomes more and more beautiful. The three girls smiled and gave their blessings. Several other people also sent their blessings. Xiao couldn't hold it anymore in an instant and started crying. After crying, she started to eat big mouthfuls. She hadn't eaten for a long time. They even said that they haven't eaten for a long time. The Straw Hats also started eating immediately. Not many people can resist eating the delicious food made by Sanji. Do we seem to have forgotten something? Luffy stopped and said. It seemed like something was missing. Ace tilted his head and thought for a moment, then fell asleep directly. And Tenguyama Fate, whom they had forgotten, was on his way to the capital of flowers. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 186. Ghost Island. Kaido, the Straw Hats are already here, why don't you take action yet? The ant asked loudly. If Kaido hadn't been stopping her, she would have rushed over and fought with the Straw Hats. Although the Straw Hats came, the clone Baiyu did not appear. If we don't kill him first, you and I will not be able to compete with the entire Straw Hats. Kaido doesn't want to take action. However, he doesn't see Baiyu now, and he doesn't know what to do. Isn't that just right? While Baiyu is away, we can directly destroy the Straw Hat pirates. The ant clenched her fists tightly, her face full of murderous intent. Don't forget, Straw Hat Luffy also has the ability to kill generals, and they also have two natural ability users, a great swordsman who can defeat Hawkeye, and the fat blue guy Jinbe. Kaido really feels a little tired. Ling Ling, who was originally beautiful and slim, has turned into a big fat pig, and her IQ has also changed to that of a pig. If he hadn't been short of people now, he would have left it alone. The most important thing, yes, he also sensed that many naval forces were in the waters near Wano, and they obviously wanted to take action against him. Or rather, they were waiting for them and the Straw Hat pirates to kill them all together. So what do you say? Are they allowed to cause trouble in Wano country? Auntie is already on the verge of rage. If Kaido hadn't saved her this time, and if her kingdoms were destroyed and her sons and daughters were missing, she would never have suffered here. Of course I won't let them act recklessly here, I will find a way to separate them, and then we will defeat them one by one. Kaido sneered. Don't think that because he likes to commit suicide, you really think of him as a fool. How could he sit on the position of the four emperors without some strategy and easily control this powerful Wano country? You guy is really sinister and vicious. Auntie said and walked out. Since Kaido has a plan, she must be ready to take action. She must destroy the Straw Hats. I went to inform Orokai and he carried out my plan. Kaido said to his men. Although the Straw Hats are very strong, this is his territory. A bunch of brats still want to fight him. As long as he defeats Bai-Fei, the Straw Hat Pirates will be vulnerable. Boludo Town, Tea House. Who was that person just now? Ahe thought of the thunder that fell from the sky just now, and felt a wave of terror. She had never seen such a terrifying person before. I don't know, but he shouldn't be from Kaido, otherwise he wouldn't attack Kaido's men. Kaios Hikeng shook his head. He was also a little confused. Even though he only took action once, he could still feel the terror of that figure. First think of a way to bring Xiao back. Ahe was very worried about Xiao. At this time, a figure rushed over from a distance, raising a burst of dust behind him. Fiki? How did you come? Kaios Hikeng was stunned for a moment, and quickly shouted Fei Che. What happened? Aju, have you seen Xiao? Fei Che asked loudly, but had no intention of stopping. Stop first. Didn't you say you wouldn't leave Wengli village? Ju's Heshan said quickly. Oh. Only then did Fei Che realize that he had actually run out and handed over his home to a group of pirates. Xiao was captured by Kaido's people, but was later taken away by a person with the power of thunder and lightning. Juz Hikeng said. The power of thunder and lightning. Feish suddenly thought of what Ace said when he came out. Then he ran back without looking back. What is this guy crazy about? Ahe's head is filled with questions. Maybe he knows where Xiao is, or where the person just now is. Sister Ahe, I'll follow you and have a look. Kaios Hikeng said, picking up the knife and chasing after him. Ahe looked into the distance, sighed, and turned back to the tea house. At that time, Xiao was having a lot of fun with the Straw Hats. Because the person she was waiting for was here. Fei Che ran back panting. Then he saw Xiao giggling and the Straw Hats eating and drinking. Master? What's wrong with you? Xiao looked at Fei Che in surprise. You. Fei Che was so exhausted that he could only point at Xiao and the Straw Hats. Master, drink some water. Xiao very obediently held a glass of water and handed it to Fei Che. Gilo, he drank the glass of water directly. Then his eyes widened and he looked at the water glass in disbelief. Where did this water come from? It was the filter made by Brother Frankie to filter out the river water. Xiao pointed at Frankie and said. Super. These are all small things. Frankie waved his hand. With his current ability, it is simply too easy to make such a small thing. It seems that there is a tail following behind you. Anilu said, raising his arms and getting ready to take action. Wait a moment. It's probably Xiaju, one of our own. Fei Che quickly shouted. Sister Aju. Xiao ran over. Just be fine, just be careful in the future. Kaios Hikeng rubbed Xiao's head. Beautiful lady, this is a love cake made by me, please use it with ease. Sanji quickly appeared in front of Xiaju, holding a plate of heart-shaped cakes in his hands. Here, thank you. Kaios Hikeng was stunned for a moment, then took the cake and thanked him. He took a small bite. Tasty. Kaios Hikeng was very surprised and started eating quickly. My name is Sanji, a professional chef. I don't know what to call the lady. Sanji's eyes turned into heart shapes. Such a tall and beautiful girl is a killer for him. Please forgive me for taking the liberty of coming here. Kaios Hikeng said apologetically. Kiku no Chang? Are you a retainer of the Guanjia family and the Prime Minister Ken Sueju, one of the 9 heroes of the Red Sky? Nami looked at Kikunashi in confusion. She didn't realize at all that the woman in front of her was a man. Who are you? Kaios Hikeng immediately put his hand on the handle of the knife, his expression wary. I am the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, and my name is Nami. Nami said with a smile, your identity was told to me by our deputy captain Bayu, but don't worry, we don't have any malicious intentions here, but we are here to help you. If Bayou hadn't told her this, how would she have known about Wano country? He is the man, Bayou said. Wei Wei's eyes widened and she couldn't believe that the beautiful woman in front of her was actually a man. Sanji shouldn't care, right? Robin said with a half-smile. Man. Sanji's eyes widened and he looked at Kikunobu in disbelief. Kikunobu nodded. Poof. Sanji fell to the ground and fainted. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 187. Why did he show up? Shiro Yu frowned. Kikunoke, Kinemon, and others were teleported 20 years later by Kojiki Toki. And the current timeline is less than 19 years. Then he spread the haki directly. Looking for others the whereabouts of. Of course, what he wants to find most is that damn Momonosuke. The country of Wano may not want it, but Momonosuke must die. His current hegemony of knowledge and color can easily cover the entire country of Wano. As long as Nashuk is still in Wano country, he can't escape. Momonosuke-sama, you can't go out now. Kinemon said very seriously. Yes, Kinemon is right. This time we have found powerful foreign aid. As long as they arrive, they will be able to defeat Kaido. Before that, you must not reveal your whereabouts. Cat Viper said equally seriously. I guess they should be arriving soon. We need to quickly gather our troops to prepare for the decisive battle with Kaido. Inuarashi's face was full of murderous intent. Originally, the Fur Clan and the Straw Hats didn't have much confidence. Now that the 9 heroes of the Red Sky are not dead, this also gives them a little more confidence. Mr. Momonosuke, please be patient for the sake of the future of Wano country. Lizang said very apologetically. Okay, I understand, I won't go out. Momonosuke angrily walked to the corner and did it. A tall, ugly-looking red-haired man walked in. Kanjuro, how's the situation outside? Kinemon asked quickly. Not very good, Kaido seems to have discovered us, we have to find a way to move. Kanjuro said with a serious expression. How did they find us? Lei Zhang asked doubtfully. Instead of discovering us, they discovered Nico Viper and Inuarashi. Now the people from Black Carbon Orakai are coming. We must hurry up and move. Kanjuro said and picked up Momonosuke who was hiding in the corner. I didn't expect that we were exposed, so sorry. Inuarashi immediately apologized. It's not your fault. Kaido and Black Carbon Orakai have ruled here for almost 20 years. It's only a matter of time before they discover us. Let's retreat now. Kinemon shook his head and didn't think much about it. Kanjuro, let me go, I can run by myself. Momonosuke kept struggling. I'd better send you out, to a world without pain. After Kanjuro finished speaking, he grabbed Momonosuke's neck. Click. Momonosuke immediately stopped struggling and lost his breath. Lord Momonosuke. Kanjuro. What are you doing? Kanjuro. Everyone was extremely angry. They never thought that Kanjuro would kill Momonosuke. Goodbye, you idiots. Kanjuro said and rushed out with Momonosuke's body. Stop. Kinemon was extremely angry. He pulled out the 2 swords from his waist and rushed out. Momonosuke was the only male member of the Kojiki family. Now he was killed like this. Even if they killed Kai, if you kill the traitor Kanjuro, no one in the Kojiki family will inherit the throne. After they died, they had no face to see Oden when they got down there. At this time, Kanjuro was on his way back to Kuri. Your undercover identity has been exposed. Run, I'll leave this to you. A voice suddenly appeared in Kanjuro's ears. Then a child appeared in his arms. Who? Kanjuro was startled and exclaimed. But he didn't get any response. Kanjuro! You traitor! Kinemon rushed over with a pair of swords and was extremely angry. Kanjuro was startled and quickly drew a bird on the ground. He sat on the big bird and fled quickly. Why was I exposed? Kanjuro couldn't figure out the situation at all. He lowered his head and looked at Momonosuke, only to realize that Momonosuke was already dead. Asshole! Someone is setting me up. Kanjuro immediately thought of that voice. If it hadn't been for the voice saying that his identity was exposed, he would never have escaped. Now it's useless for him to try to explain. Kinemon and others won't believe it. Who is it? Since you want to kill Momonosuke, you want to frame me. Kanjuro's mind is completely confused. At that time, however, the village of Walai is full of joy. Of course, except for Sanji. Because until now, Sanji is still awake and has suffered severe mental trauma. Is he okay? Kaios Hikeng said very apologetically. It's okay, I can't die. Zoro waved his hand and looked at Kikuno-ken. Are you a samurai? I am indeed a samurai. What's wrong with Mr. Zoro? Kaios Hikeng asked very politely. Let's compete and let me see the strength of the Wano warriors. Zoro's fighting spirit rose. The last time he fought with Ryoma's corpse, he really wanted to come to Wano country and fight with the real samurai here. In fact, strictly speaking, you are considered half a samurai. Baiyu appeared in front of everyone. Baiyu. Nami hugged her immediately. How am I half a samurai? Zoro looked confused. The samurai he met for the first time was still a corpse. Even if Wano's national treasure is in his hands, it has nothing to do with samurai. Because the person who taught you swordsmanship is from Wano. Baiyu said with a smile. Are you from Wano country? Zoro's eyes widened. Fool! I'm talking about your master, Shigetsuki Kaoshiro. Baiyu is almost mad at Zaran. Shigetsuki Kaoshiro. Kaios Hikeng's eyes widened. As a country of Wano, how could he not know the surname of the Shiya family? Do you know my master? Zoro looked at Kikuno-ken in confusion. I don't know him, but I know Shigetsuki Kozaburo. Just Hikeng said. I don't know what surprises you. Zoro complained loudly. Kozaburo Shigetsuki is the father of your master Kaoshiro. The Wado Ikemonji in your hand was made by Kozaburo, and the two famous swords Kojiki Oden once used were also made by Kozaburo. Baiyu said and sat down and started eating. After flying for a long time without eating, he was also hungry. You, how do you know this? Fei Che's eyes widened. Not many people knew the secret. There are very few things Baiyu doesn't know. Luffy said immediately. Isn't the country of Wano a closed country? How did my master get to Donghai? Zoro asked very puzzledly. This is too long ago, probably more than 50 years ago. Kozaburo left Wano country for some unknown reason. As for why he appeared in the East China Sea, I don't know. Bye. You took a sip of wine and said, if you want to know what happened back then, you can only go back and ask your master Gen Si. Before he finished speaking, Baiyu looked at Zaran with a smile. There are a group of warriors you want, enough to kill you. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 188. This shabby place stinks to death. Move quickly. Once the mission is completed, return to the Flower City. Where is this place for people? I really don't know what General Orakai is thinking, and he wants to come here to invite people. Shut up, General Orakai is not something you can discuss. The leading warrior yelled loudly. Mr. Quangshalang, we have no other intentions. Don't be angry. Are we going to treat you to a drink tonight? One of them hurriedly accompanied Smiley. They didn't dare to offend Quangshalang. He is the most loyal dog around Orakai, and he is also a dog that can bite people. Just, our brothers can't speak, so please don't be offended. Another person also said immediately. Just do whatever the general asks you to do, don't complain so much, do you understand? Kuei Shi Lang said gloomily. Yes, Lord Guangxilang is right. The two men immediately nodded quickly. There is murderous intent. The Guangxilang looked into the distance and frowned. It seems that we really have a good opponent. Zoro looked at the Guangxilang group of people. Are you Rorano Zoro, the swordsman of the Straw Hats? Kuei Shi Lang asked. Yes, it's me. It seems like your place is not completely closed, right? Zoro nodded and said. Our general knows a little bit about the outside world, and hereby arranges to invite everyone from the Straw Hats to the Flower Capital. Kuei Shi Lang said. Invite us? Zoro smiled, then let's have a fight first and then talk about it. Don't know how to praise. Our general invites you to give you face. Okay, since you want to fight, then I will fight with you. The two warriors behind Guangxilang stood up. Let me do it. I come. The two started to argue. Guangxilang didn't stop him. He had nothing to do with the life and death of these wastes. He really wanted to see the strength of the new world's greatest swordsman in front of him. Stop fighting and come on together, all of you. Zoro moved his neck and took out the second-generation ghost. Arrogant. The two roared and rushed directly towards Sauron. Dang. Dang, dang. The two warriors attacked very fiercely and cooperated very well. Sauron also kept defending and did not attack. With this little strength, do you dare to ask all of us to come together? For the sake of the general, I'll cut off one of your hands. The two of them were very disdainful. How dare you challenge them with this little strength? Sauron disappeared in an instant. I've seen enough of your moves, you're too weak. When Zoro finished speaking, blood spurted out from their necks and they fell to the ground. How dare you kill someone? Catch him. All the people behind Guangxilang rushed forward. A smile appeared on the corner of Zoro's mouth. A red light flashed in his eyes, and he rushed forward in an instant. One sword at a time. No one needs to use a second sword. An ordinary samurai sword is used in front of the second generation of ghosts. There is no difference from tofu. Phew. Zoro took a deep breath, the red light in his eyes dissipated, and looked at the second generation ghost in his hand. I am your master, you are not my master. Understand? The blade of the sword trembled, as if in fear. It seems that your sword is a demon sword. It can't be that one, right? The Guangxilang's eyes narrowed slightly. Ghost Tetsu. Zoro didn't hide it either. He could feel that the Guangxilang in front of him should be a powerful warrior. Sure enough, only this knife could have such terrifying murderous intent. Kuang. Shi Lang said as he slowly pulled out the sword from his waist, it's my honor to fight against the world's greatest swordsman. As soon as the words fell, the two of them were fighting each other instantly. Zoro. Come on. Luffy held the meat with bones and loudly cheered for Zoro. Squirrel head, kill that green algae head. Sanji shouted loudly. You bastard chef, I will kill you sooner or later. Zoro was furious and wished he could kill this perverted chef right now. However, the opponent in front of him was very strong. He didn't want to end the battle too quickly. The fastest way for a swordsman to improve his strength is to fight. Asshole. I want to kill him too. The Guangxilang was also very angry, and he dared to call him Squirrel Head. It's not your turn to chop him yet. After Sauron's words fell, the intensity of his attack increased a bit. What a violent swordsmanship. The Guangxilang was very shocked. He had never seen such terrifying swordsmanship. There was no defense at all, just offense. And the most important thing is that Zoro was imitating his swordsmanship to fight him. This was obviously to use he's here to practice. How can he still fight? Okay, it's almost done, the winner has already been decided. Baiyu shouted. The fight between the two stopped. Baiyu, I've just started. Zoro was very dissatisfied. If it had been anyone else, he would have chopped him off with a knife. How about I fight you? Baiyu looked at Zoran with a smile. Forget it, no need. Zolong shook his head quickly. Fighting Baiyu? Haha, is that called being beaten? Why do you have an opinion? Denjiro. Baiyu directly told the true identity of Kuang Shilang. Denjiro. Kaios Hikeng's eyes widened and he rushed over quickly. You got the wrong person. Crazy Death, no, Denjiro's eyes were panicked. He has been undercover for so many years, and even the people who are most familiar with him cannot recognize him. No one knows him, and everyone thinks he is dead. There is no point in being an undercover agent anymore. We are here to help found the country of Wano. Aju and the others have appeared, and it is time for you, the 9 heroes of the Red Sky, to conquer Kaido. Shiro sighed. Denjiro is a real man. Now that Momonosuke is dead, Wano country will fall into the hands of Hiri Kojiki. Hiri Kojiki will fall into his hands in the future. In his hands. Therefore, strictly speaking, the 9 heroes of Chixiao will be his people from now on. The strength of these people, when paired with steel battle suits, is not only comparable to that of a general, but they are still more than enough to deal with a lieutenant general. Are you really Denjiro? Kikunoke couldn't believe it. It turned out that Denjiro was a gentle and elegant man. But now this face is really impossible to associate with that man. Denjiro opened the squirrel's head and tied it into a high ponytail. Aju, long time no see. Denjiro had a smile on his face. It's really you. Denjiro. Ki no Cheng hugged Denjiro excitedly. How could you become like this? After that day, I was possessed by a monster named anger and became what I am now. However, this also allowed me to successfully sneak into Urukai's side and become his most trusted bodyguard. I'm just waiting for you to show up. This day. Denjiro said it very simply. But Kikunoke knew that things were definitely not that simple. How much anger would change a person's appearance? Possessed by a monster? Can you transform? Luffy's eyes lit up. Cannot. Denjiro shook his head. Not interesting. Luffy immediately lost interest. Okay, let's talk about old times. We'll talk later. Aju, you go find the Fur tribe and Kinemon and the others. Ace, you go with them. Denjiro, you go with us to Urukai first, and then you go and bring Princess Hiri over. Baiyu began to arrange tasks. The country of Wano is what he likes, and that is his. However, if you want to get the country of Wano, you still have to use some means. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 189. The Capital of Flowers. The only prosperous place in Wano. It is also the capital of Wano country. The flower city with flying cherry blossoms is so beautiful. Especially the palace is amazing. Under the leadership of Denjiro, the Straw Hat Gang entered the palace. Welcome to the Straw Hat crew to Wano country. The black charcoal snake immediately stepped forward to greet him. So ugly. Quite short. I feel like Valpo is better than him. Forget it, he won't live long anyway. The Straw Hats started complaining when they saw the black carbon Urukai. That, everyone please come in. The black charcoal snake's face was very ugly. If it weren't for the fear of being bigger than these people, he would definitely eat these people. Don't take it too hard, these guys are outspoken and will say whatever they want. Baiyu opened his mouth to comfort him. No, it's okay. The black charcoal snake clenched his fists and gritted his teeth angrily. He turned around and walked in without talking to the straw hats. Wow! So much meat! When Luffy saw the delicious food on the table, he immediately rushed over. The others also sat down one after another, ignoring Orakai, and started eating directly. The black charcoal snake's strands really turned into the color of black charcoal. He is now. I really regret agreeing to Kaido's plan. That. Zoro, come and have a drink. This wine tastes good. Baiyu and Saran clinked their glasses. This dish shouldn't be done this way, it's such a waste of such good ingredients. Sanji looked at the exquisite food and began to find faults. It's all meat, no vegetables at all, so unhealthy. Nami sighed. They didn't even bring me fruit. Enilu's eyes flashed with lightning. Everyone was looking for something to do. Only Luffy was eating and drinking without saying a word. What did you just say? Baiyu looked at the black charcoal snake. Just when the black charcoal snake opened his mouth to speak, Luffy's hand suddenly grew longer and took away the meat in front of him. What's wrong with you? Baiyu asked again. I'm fine, as long as you're happy. The black charcoal snake suppressed his anger and said through gritted teeth. Don't worry, we're happy. Baiyu said with a smile. He really wanted to see how long this black charcoal snake could endure. Lord Baiyu, Princess Hai, he brought it? Denjiro walked into the room. Crazy man. What did you say? The black charcoal snake shouted angrily. Denjiro glanced at the black charcoal snake and ignored it. He turned sideways and invited Kojiki Hiri in. What a nice view. After Hiri Kojiki walked into the room, he immediately attracted everyone's attention. Even Sanji, who was depressed, instantly became energetic and his eyes turned into heart shapes. Xiao Zi. Why are you here? I didn't summon you. The black charcoal snake was very surprised. My name is not Xiaozi, my name is Hiri Kojiki, and my father is Kojiki Oden. Katsutsuki Hiwa shouted loudly. What? The black charcoal snake's eyes popped out, and he quickly asked loudly, You crazy man. What exactly is going on? My name is not Quangshiro, my name is Denjiro, one of the 9 heroes of the Red Sky of the Kojiki family. Denjiro said coldly. Someone come. Someone come and protect me. The black charcoal snake screamed in fright and backed away quickly. Bang. The door was violently kicked open. Baiyu immediately stretched out his hand to hold Hiri Kojiki in his arms to avoid being hit by the door panel. Thank you, Mr. Baiyu. Kwanjiurai's pretty face turned red instantly. Fine. Baiyu smiled slightly, thanking the person who just kicked the door in his heart. Black Carbon Orakai, your doom has come. Hand over that traitor Kanjuro. Kinemon held 2 swords and looked at Kyoten Orakai angrily. Compared to Kyoten Orakai, what he hated more was the traitor Kanjuro. Kanjuro. Mitsutsuki Hiwa shouted in surprise. You are Princess Hiri. After Kinemon saw Mitsuki Hiri, the murderous look on his face disappeared instantly. It's really you are so good alive. Kwanjiurai, he cried excitedly. See Princess Hiri. Everyone behind Kinemon immediately knelt down to pay their respects. But at this moment, the black carbon Orakai turned around and was about to run away. Click. A bolt of thunder struck in front of the black carbon Orakai. General Orakai, where are you going? Bye. You asked with a smile. I will fight with you. The black charcoal snake roared angrily, turned around and prepared to jump out of the window and escape. 61 of the Dao of Binding, 6 Stand Light Prison. With Baiyu's finger, the body of the black charcoal snake was locked in mid-air by 6 pieces of light. Let go of Orakai-sama. Kanjuro roared angrily and rushed out. Kanjuro. When Kinemon and others saw Kanjuro, his eyes turned red immediately, and they rushed over without any hesitation. Lord Orokai? You go quickly. Kanjuro pulled out his sword and slashed at the six-stick light prison. Dang! A crisp sound sounded. But the six-stick light prison was not damaged at all. You bastards! All will die. The black charcoal snake roared and quickly transformed into the Yamata no Orokai. Its huge body smashed the six staffs of light. Snake fruit phantom beast species Yama no Orokai form. The snake's head immediately faced Kinemon. And others launched an attack. At the same time, another head went straight towards Kaujiki Hiyori. Not good. Kinemon exclaimed, it was too late to rescue him. It seems like your memory is not very good. Baiyu shook his head and slowly raised a finger. Breaking the path no for white thunder. The fingertips flashed with lightning and thunder, and lightning struck out. The snake's head was instantly shattered by white lightning. Ah! The black charcoal snake screamed. Kinemon and others immediately seized the opportunity and began to cut off other snake heads. The black charcoal snake immediately he turned into a human form and escaped the most fatal blow. As long as his head was not chopped off, he would not die. Kanjuro! Don't give it to me yet. The black charcoal snake roared angrily. Yes. Kanjuro quickly drew tigers one by one on the ground. Tiger! With Kanjuro's loud shout, the tiger on the ground pounced directly on Kinemon and the others. Then he took the opportunity to draw a big bird again. He grabbed the injured black charcoal snake and prepared to run away. The 81 of the binding Deo breaking the sky. Baiyu cast Kido again, stopping Kanjuro and Hitan Orokai. Kanjuro! Kinemon roared angrily, and cut off Kanjuro's neck. His head flew up. The painting he drew also disappeared in an instant. Denjiro immediately took out the sea stone chain and locked the black charcoal snake. Kanjuro! Kojiki Hiyori has no idea why the 9 heroes of Chixiao are fighting among themselves. Sorry, Princess Hiyori, we failed to protect Lord Momonosuke. Lord Momonosuke was killed by this traitor. Kinemon knelt on the ground directly, tears streaming down his face uncontrollably. The only male member of the Kojiki family is dead. Brother is dead. Mitsuki Hiwa's body went limp and fell down. Baiyu quickly supported him and said softly, my condolences, please obey me. Ha ha ha. The only male member of the Kojiki family has died. I want to see who can inherit the position of general. Kanjuro has never been a traitor. He has been mine since he met Kojiki Oden. Why do you think Kaido knew that you were going to Yami? Although his identity was exposed, he killed Kojiki Momonosuke, which was considered a mission accomplished. Ha ha ha. The black charcoal snake laughed loudly. So what if Kojiki Oden is powerful, isn't he just playing tricks on him? In the end, even his son was killed by him. Although Lord Momonosuke is no longer here. But Princess Hiyori is still there. The bloodline of the Kojiki family is not broken. Kinemon said coldly. Do you want a woman to succeed the general of Wano? This makes me laugh so hard. Since when did Wano have a female general? The black charcoal snake sneered disdainfully. Anyway, he also knew that if he was caught, he would die, and he was not afraid now. Who says women can't be generals of Wano? Bye. You stood up, the number 1 Warren became the queen of Wano. Isn't this a good story? Good. Who says women can't be generals? Be a king. Go to hell, you ugly guy. Offending a woman is a very dangerous thing, 30 will flower hook claw. How dare you look down on women? Eat a railgun from me. After the 3 girls used a combination of skills, the black charcoal snake really turned into black charcoal this time. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 190. Except for the Straw Hats. The people from Wano country looked at the three women with completely different eyes. They never thought that a girl who looked weak could actually burst out with such terrifying strength. Hiri, we believe in you, you will definitely become the queen of Wano. Nami said encouragingly. Well, don't worry, we'll help you. Waiwei said. If someone disagrees with you becoming a general, let our deputy captain take action. Robin said even more directly. Thank you all. Thanks. The tears of Mitsuki Hiri were spinning in her eyes. The three of them killed your enemies and didn't let you take revenge yourself. How can you thank them? You also can't understand the friendship between women. They just met, and they want to help them become queens. My enemy is not the black charcoal snake. I have only one enemy. Kojiki Hiri clenched her weak fists and bit her lip. She knew that Kaido was the reason behind the black charcoal snake, and it was able to control the country of Wano. Without Kaido's help, her father would have died long ago. Just take back the country of Wano. Please give the order, Hiri-sama. Kinemon knelt down on one knee. Please give the order, Hiri-sama. Others also immediately knelt down on one knee. Kinemon, how many of us are there now? Kojiki Hiri asked. The brothers of the Fur tribe brought 500 people, and together with the people under Ashiradaji and Denjiro, we have about 2,000 people. Kinemon said immediately. No, we still have people, use all our strength to rescue all the people imprisoned in Rabbit Bowl first. Kwanjiorai he has not just been dancing these years. Hiri-sama is right. We still have people. Let's rescue the people in Rabbit Bowl first. Kinemon shouted loudly. This guy really knows how to build momentum. Baiyu glanced at Kinemon and thought in his mind. Kinemon, have you found Kawamatsu? Kojiki Hiwo has been worried about Hisong. Sorry, Hiri-sama, we didn't find Kawamatsu. Kinemon bowed his head and said apologetically. Go to Rabbit Bowl and you will find River Pine. Bye. You said, not only can you find Kawamatsu, but you can also find Flower Hyogoro. Really? Kawamatsu is not dead, and Mr. Hyogoro is still alive. Kwanjiorai he grabbed Baiyu's hand excitedly. Of course, go for it. Bye. You smiled slightly and turned to look at the Straw Hats. If you want to move around, just follow them. There's nothing going on here anyway. Princess Hiri has gone, I will definitely go. Sanji was the first to stand up. Then go have some fun. Analu said. I also need to go. Luffy shouted loudly. Let's go too, let's protect Hiri. Nami said. Something's wrong with you. Baiyu looked at Nami strangely. If Waiwei and Robin were going, he wouldn't be surprised at all. But it's strange for Nami to take the initiative. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my good sister who went to help us? Nami said and pulled the girls away quickly. I haven't taken it yet, why have we become sisters? Baiyu was also a little confused about what Nami was going to do. However, it was rare for Nami to be so proactive, so he didn't bother to care. Anyway, with Nami's current strength, as long as she doesn't face the 4 emperors and generals alone, she will be fine. Baiyu, I suddenly feel that I should go back and watch the boat. Meili is too unsafe by herself. Usopp said quickly to the side. With this group of guys, he will fight Kaido later. He doesn't want to fight with the monster who is known as the strongest creature. Okay, then you can go back. Baiyu didn't stop him. At this time, it's not safe to say it's safe. Chopper, won't you go back with me? Usopp asked. I want to be with Baiyu. Chopper jumped directly on Baiyu's body. He had already understood that staying with Baiyu was the safest thing. Super. I'd better go back with you, as my new model of suit will be finished soon. Frankie is interested in the suit now. Moreover, he has now integrated Germa's technology and added his own skills, and has made new breakthroughs. When his new suit is made, it will definitely shock everyone. Then Chopper, just come with me and you can move around freely. Bayou said as he opened a door in the air and took Chopper in. Brother Ace, let's find a place to have a game first. Jinbei said. I just had this idea. Ace immediately nodded in agreement. Then I'll go check it out too, it's boring anyway. Zoro said. Yo ho ho ho, I also want to see who is stronger between the two. Brook was also a little curious. The four of them went directly to find a place to fight. But at this time, Bayou went directly to Ghost Island. Bayou, it's so scary here. Shoppa was trembling with fear and clutched Bayou's clothes tightly. Onigashima, Kaido's base camp. After Bayou finished speaking, a group of half-human and half-animal monsters surrounded the two of them. Ghost Island. Chopper was so scared that his eyes were about to pop out. If he had known this, he might as well have returned to the ship with Usopp. Don't worry, Kaido isn't here. Bye. You said with a smile. In fact, people are not afraid. When Chopper heard Kaido's absence, his face immediately changed. It's the replicator Bayou. Inform Lord Kaido quickly. Sasaki immediately shouted loudly. Not to mention these people, even the three disasters are no match for this person. I don't believe there are so many of us, but we can't defeat him. As Peggy-wan said, he directly entered the strongest orc form and rushed towards Bayou. You should believe it. Bayou sighed. He raised his fist. It was a very ordinary punch. It didn't even use the armed domineering force. Bang. Peggy-wan flew out directly, fell to the ground, changed back to human form, and remained motionless. Bayou is so awesome. Chopper immediately shouted excitedly. Ziope. I kill you. Runty turned into a dinosaur and rushed over in anger. Chopper, I'll leave these people to you. I'll be back with some work. After Bayou finished speaking, he disappeared directly regardless of whether Chopper agreed or not. Bang. Runty's head hit the open ground directly, creating a huge pit. Chopper's eyes widened in fright, and he was about to cry, bad protein feather, I will never be with you again. Is this guy the pet tanuki of the Straw Hat Pirates? I've seen a reward. There's a reward of 100 UN for the civet cat. It's indeed a pet. Pets are also considered members of the Straw Hat Pirates, right? Hearing these people calling out their pets, Chopper's anger went straight to Tianling Gai. Especially since these people dared to reveal his reward. How dare you rub salt into his wounds? Turtle Pai Chi Gong. I am the strongest officer of the Straw Hats. Author, Super Red. Chapter 191. Not only can the Sea Tower Stone restrict ability users, it is also very hard. Even if you are not a person with abilities, it will be difficult to break free from the chains of the Sea Tower Stone. Because Sea Stone is as hard as diamond, it is also very difficult to process. Only the country of Wano in the world has the technology to process Sea Stone. Moreover, Wano country is also the largest producer of Sea Stone. Therefore, the world government has always wanted to take over Wano. However, due to Wano's powerful force and complex terrain, they have been unable to succeed. But they never gave up on the idea. Now they just have to wait for the Straw Hats and Kaido to suffer both losses. They appear in time to save Wano country from danger. When the time comes, there will be no fear that Wano will not join the world government. For this operation, the world government mobilized most of the elites of the Navy and CP agencies. This time they not only want to capture Wano country, but also capture Kaido and the Straw Hats. As long as this mission is successful, this sea will be the Navy's world. The other little pirates are nothing to worry about. Report. News came from Wano that the Straw Hats have taken action. The soldier said quickly. The Straw Hats are really scary, and they are completely unafraid of the monster Kaido. Kizaru raised his eyelids, then continued to close his eyes and lay on the chair to sleep. I really want to meet the Straw Hats to see if they are really that powerful. A tall, handsome man said. Green Bull, don't underestimate the Straw Hats. Those who underestimate the Straw Hats will not end well. Fujitora said from the side. For you to make such a comment, the Straw Hats make me more and more curious. The Green Bull's face showed an expression of expectation, he longed for the strong. Don't your navy plan to take action? A masked man came over and looked at the three of them very dissatisfied. The Straw Hats have just started to take action and have not yet faced Kaido and the others in a head-on battle. It is not the time to take action yet. Fujitora didn't even look at the masked man. He couldn't see him anyway. Then just wait here, and don't blame our CP agency for taking your credit when the time comes. The masked man left directly after saying that. CP organizations are really getting worse from generation to generation. The green cow sighed and began to close his eyes to rest. Everyone puts on Wano costumes and sneaks into Wano. The masked man returned to his warship and immediately gave the order. Sir, do you want Zero to be activated? Target Zero is too big, so there is no need to activate it yet. This is our secret weapon. The masked man shook his head. The reason why he was so confident in dealing with the Straw Hats and Kaido was because of the existence of this secret weapon. After the people from the CP agency changed into the clothes of Wano country, they directly used the moon step rush. Climb the cliff and enter the country of Wano. But the leading masked man did not leave. Although he was anxious to make meritorious deeds, he was not a fool. He knew the strength of the four emperors very well, and it might be fatal. He didn't want to just do it. The superior officer died before he had accomplished any meritorious service. At that time, Hiri Kojiki had already brought people to the rabbit bowl. With the strength of the 9 heroes of Akashi, plus Luffy and the others, where were these orcs from the Kaido pirates? It was an opponent. It was a complete crushing. Most of the imprisoned prisoners were the Wu clan of Wano, and there were also some pirates who came to Wano by accident. After these people were rescued, they directly joined the conquest of Kai more teams. In this way, the number of people in the team also exceeds 5,000. Hiri, are we good sisters? Nami said from the side. Of course it is. Kaujiki Haiwa nodded with a smile. Without the help of the Straw Hats, they would not have been able to take down the rabbit bowl so quickly. Nami, Vivi, and Robin were also very kind to her, and they were protecting her. Safety. Is this the mine where seafloor stones are collected? Nami asked. Hiri Kojiki nodded. Yes, Nami, do you need the sea tower stone? You see this coin, right? Can you have someone forge some sea tower coins for me? Nami said. Of course, I thought it was something. Hiri Kojiki agreed immediately. The country of Wano is already rich in sea stones. How much material can be used for a few coins? Hiri, you are really kind, so give me 10 million first. Nami immediately happily took Hiri Kojiki's hand. She knew that sea stones are very difficult to process and the price is very high. If you spend money to make sea stone coins, you might as well just use ordinary coins. How much did you just say? Kojiki Hiri's eyes widened and sweat dripped from his forehead. 10 million is enough, not too much. Nami said very modestly. This can probably only be created after defeating Kaido. Kwanjiu he wiped his sweat. Although one coin does not cost many sea tower stones, 10 million coins is not a small amount. It's okay, don't be in a hurry. Nami is in a good mood. As long as she has the sea tower coin, it will be much easier for her railgun to deal with espers. Moreover, The hardness of the sea tower stone is many times stronger than ordinary coins. High hardness means the range of the electromagnetic gun will be increased many times. At this moment, a huge fireball flew from a distance, very fast. Danger! Get out of here! Anilu immediately appeared in the air, and his arms turned into thunder and lightning. The huge thunder and lightning beam went straight towards the flames. Boom! The collision of thunder and fire erupted with a shocking explosion. The flames fell towards the rabbit bowl like a meteor. The ability of the thunder fruit is really good. Join the Beast's pirates and I can give you a position in the new 3 disasters. Kaido, who turned into a dragon, spoke human words. Beast pirates? From the sound of this name, there is no need to join. I have no interest in becoming a partner with a beast. Eniru sneered, not afraid of Kaido at all. And he really doesn't like the people of the beast pirates, just like the 3 disasters, none of them are good. Although they themselves are not good people, at least they still have a bottom line as human beings. Court death. Kaido roared angrily and opened his big mouth. A large number of wind blades came out of his mouth, and they went straight to an arrow like extremely sharp slashes.